Di, thanks for joining me today. Today in the kitchen I'm going to be making some salmon patties, and with this recipe you can use leftover mashed potato, or you can make your mashed potato specifically for this recipe. So I've got some leftover mashed potato here and a few other ingredients, so let's get started. So this is another recipe where there's no real quantities. I've probably got 3 cups of leftover mashed potato there, and to that I'm going to add a can of salmon. Now this salmon, this is pink salmon. You can use red salmon or pink salmon, and it's 415 grams this can. So I'll just go and open this and drain it, and then we'll be back. So I'm going to add the salmon to our bowl. Now I'm just going to finely chop some shallots, green onions or spring onions. They're called different things in different places. So we're just going to chop these. You don't have to use green onions or shallots or spring onions. You can use just an ordinary onion, and you can grate that in. And if you want something for a little bit of colour in there, you can, if you're just using a normal onion, you can throw some parsley in. Some chopped up parsley gives it a bit of flavour, and it also gives it a little bit of colour. Okay, I'm going to add some salt. You can add salt and pepper if you like. That's half a teaspoon of salt. I don't particularly like pepper, so that's why I don't add pepper to a lot of my recipes. Okay, we're going to add an egg to that. I'm just going to beat the egg. Okay, and then we just need to mix all that together. So no better way to do this than using your hands. You need to break up all that salmon so it's evenly mixed through the mixture. Rather a big piece of spring onion there, so I've just pulled it out. I did say finely chopped, but I must have missed that bit. Okay, there we go, all mixed up. Now I'll just wash my hands and be back. Now what we want to do with this mixture is to put it in the fridge for about half an hour, and that will just firm it up a little bit. So we'll do that and then we'll come back. So we're going to be making them into patties, and then we're going to be putting them in beaten egg and breadcrumbs. So we'll just get that ready. I've still got my mixture in the fridge at the moment. So we just beat our egg. Now, if you're making it for someone who's gluten intolerant or gluten-free, use gluten-free breadcrumbs. Okay, So I'll just get my mixture and we'll start making them into patties. Okay, so you want to start with wet hands. Just makes it easier when you're touching the potato mixture. So we just make them into little patties. Put it in our egg and now in the breadcrumbs. Now what people do, people who are very organised and methodical, will use one hand for the egg and another hand for doing the breadcrumbs. But even though I try to do that, I always mix it up. So I just use both and then just wash my hands as needed. So here we go. Now we're just going to go along and do this with all the mixture. And you don't need to make it into patties. I once had some people coming over last minute and I didn't really have much in the house to put out as little snacks. So what I did, I had some mashed potato in the fridge. So I made this up and made it into little balls and put a little dipping sauce next to it with some toothpicks, and it was lovely. It was really a good thing to do. So you can use it that way as well. Oh, some of these are a bit big. I better start making them smaller. You can make them any size you like. But it would be good to have some consistency, which I haven't got. I find these are a really nice, a nice thing to make ahead of time. I put them in the fridge and cook them just as I'm going to serve them. But in summer, when you don't really want to be cooking too much, you can make these, as I say, ahead of time. You can make them the day before, have them sitting in the fridge, and then just cook them up and serve them with a nice salad. And it's lovely in summer when it's hot and you don't really feel like doing too much cooking. Now we're just going to heat up our fry pan and we're going to be shallow frying them in some olive oil. So we want about 1 to 1.5 centimetres of oil in the pan. Okay, we'll just wait for that to heat up. Okay, so we're heating our oil up there, and if you just want to make sure if it's ready or not, just take a little crumb of your mixture and just put it in. If that starts to sizzle, then you know it's hot enough. So we'll just gently lower these in. So we'll do 4 at a time. going to be draining these on some kitchen paper. So I'm just lining my bowl with that, so when they come out they'll go onto that. Okay, when they're brown on one side, you just need to flip them and cook them on the other side. And we'll come back when we've cooked them all. And there you have it. Beautiful salmon patties, cooked with a nice crispy breadcrumb outer and nice soft fluffy inside with your mashed potato, your shallots and salmon. So there you have it.